Hey guys, Jim at JP Property Consulting. So today's tip I want to talk to you a little about is safety protocol when showing apartments. These are some things that we teach our leasing agents over to do at the large apartment communities and some of the big companies where I come from. So first and foremost, what I want you to do is whenever you're going to be going and showing a unit, let others know that you're going to go show this unit. So if you have a business partner or you have a spouse or a husband or wife, let them know that you're going to be going to this apartment and showing this unit and at what time you're going to be showing it. If you have some reservations, maybe have someone stay nearby with you when you're going to go show that unit. A couple things that we have our leasing agents do is when we're going to show that unit, now I understand some of you may not have an office to be able to do this, but we would have a place where we would hang on to their ID when we would go show the units. Now, make sure when you want to, as we talk about in my application processing class, that you ask them for a U.S. government issued photo ID rather than just simply an ID, because their Planet Fitness ID or their college ID could be altered or rigged by their buddy that works in that ID making department over at that place. So always make sure you're asking them for a U.S. government issued photo ID rather than just simply and you don't want to be saying driver's license, because again, that implies that they need to be a capable, able-bodied individual who can go drive that car, as opposed, and therefore you won't show them if they don't have a driver's license. You want to make sure you're not using that terminology. Instead, simply a U.S. government issued photo ID if you're going to hold on to one while you're going to show them, if you have an office or something to go hang on to it in a locked safe spot to do so. Some other things that we have them do is always make sure that you're leading from behind. So don't ever go down that hallway ahead of them. Always make sure that the group or them, that individual is going to go down that hallway ahead of you, or into that bathroom, or into that walk-in closet, or into that galley kitchen or so ahead of you, and make sure you always stay behind and lead from behind. That way they can't trap you into that bedroom or trap you into that walk-in closet. When you're in the living room and they're kind of walking around, they're doing one of these things, and oh, this would look really nice there, we can hang our pictures there, and they're kind of walking around and dancing around that. You dance around that living room with them, and always make sure that you are in between them and the exit at all times. Okay, so that's another thing to do too, is be mindful where they are and where you are in relation to the exit of the apartment or the building or the house or wherever that you're showing. One other thing that we used to have them do is flip the deadbolt lock. If you have a deadbolt, flip that deadbolt lock when you get in there, and that way that deadbolt hits that door jamb and it doesn't close all the way. Thus, if God forbid you're in there and you're screaming for help, someone in that hallway could hear you and easily get in, and they can identify which unit this is that the screaming is coming from, and it doesn't lock the door behind you automatically. So always flip that deadbolt lock if you have the ability to do that, and have it, and therefore it hits that door jamb and the door won't close all the way for the apartment. Some other things is if you have if you're at a larger apartment community, and maybe some of your leasing agents maybe have a bigger apartment community that they're in, we used to always have them make sure you take different paths. So therefore, if you're going to go show a unit in this building over here, don't always go walk the same way to that building, because sometimes there are people that are just waiting for you to go that way. Kind of like when they teach you, if you're going to walk home from school, kind of go a different route a couple times, so that if there's someone waiting for you there, they're not expecting you to always to go that same way. So have a couple different paths if you have a larger community that you're in. Have a couple different paths, and then discuss that path with your business partner or your staff. So if God forbid they have to get up and go try to find you, they know kind of where you went to or so on. Which leads me to my next thing, is always, if you have a business partner or you have a staff that you're with and you work with other people, leave a list of units that you're going to go show. Let them know which units you're going to go show, so that if you don't come back in a certain amount of time, they know how and where to go back and get a hold of you, or try to find you. So those are some things that we do. I'm just kind of going through my list of making sure you're leading from behind, making sure you're not asking them for a driver's license to hold on to, but actually a U.S. government issued photo ID as opposed to a driver's license. Taking various paths. Also, we used to have our leasing agents have some sort of a code that we would have with our colleagues with us, and you can do this with your spouse or your business partner or so on. we would have in our office, there would be, if you imagine the leasing desk would be someone sitting here, the leasing agent would be filling out their guest card with the prospect. And automatically out of nowhere, the leasing agent would kind of yell across the room to our maintenance director, whose office was across the way, and she'd yell to him and say, "Hey, is apartment 106 ready to show? Is all your stuff out of there?" Now, we know what units are ready to show and what are not ready to show. There's no reason for her to do that, right? But I would be sitting at my desk and I'd hear her do that, and the maintenance director would hear her call that out to them. And that was our cue of, hey, I'm going to go show apartment 106, right? I feel a little icky about this guy. One of you two drop what you're doing and come check on me in a few minutes, right? Now, I get it. Maybe some of you don't have that leasing office and that capability to do that, but maybe have some sort of a code you have with your business partner or with your spouse where you kind of, maybe you go there and you put the key in the door and, you put the wrong key in there now, right? And it's just not going to, it's not opening. And you call your business partner or your spouse or your husband and say, hey, did you already change the locks on this door? My key is not opening the door. That's your code for them. Drop what you're doing and get over here right now because I don't feel good about who I'm going to go show these guys that just showed up to go show the unit to. Okay, so have some sort of a code maybe you have with your business partner or your spouse that you work with, somebody that you trust that will stop what they're doing and hurry up and get over there right away. Okay, those are some quick tips that you can maybe use to do. I hope that was helpful to you. If you have other information that you'd like to share, please do so in the comments section. If this sounded something that was interesting to you, go check out my website, jppropertyconsulting.com. I've got a whole bunch of classes and tips on stuff of how we train our leasing agents over at the large apartment communities. And I bring that training over to the small landlords and the small mom and pop property management companies. With each class, I've got documents that come with every class that pertain to that class, along with a PDF textbook for that class that comes with each one. They're very affordable and they're lengthy classes. Go check them out on my website, jppropertyconsulting.com. And thanks for watching, guys.